Paramatmane Namaham. Devotees, Jai Sita Ram. I'd like to welcome each and every one of you to our Sunday morning satsang this beautiful December 20th, 2020. At this time, before we commence with our prayers for this morning, I ask that you all join together with me as we sing this beautiful bhajan, as we welcome each other to our service for today. स्वागत समझन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति की स्वाति की धार, सुंदर सुमधुर गान हमारो, रंजन सब नर नार। ईश सगुण निर्गुण विनाशी, माता पिता रारू यार। ईश सगुण निर्गुण विनाशी, माता पिता रारू यार। तोर माय हम वास्त सदाही, तोर माय हम वास्त सदाही, तार हमें संसार। स्वागत समझन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति की स्वाति की धार, सुंदर सुमधुर गान हमारो, रंजन सब नर नार। तीर्थमय यहाँ गोद लगावे, पुण्य यहाँ पर सार। तीर्थमय यहाँ गोद लगावे, पुण्य यहाँ पर सार। संगति संधन नीम चलावे, संगति संतन नीम चलावे, शोभन सब व्यवहार। स्वागत सब जन इस मंदिर हो, भक्ति की स्वाति की धार, सुंदर सुमधुर गान हमारो, रंजन सब नर नार। रंजन सब नर नार, रंजन सब नर नार। At this time, devotees, I ask that we all join together as we clasp our hands and we close our eyes. We take some time to go ahead and relax. Make sure we're sitting in a very comfortable position. Focus on a form of Bhagwan that is most pleasing to you, and join with me as we chant our opening prayers. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnata Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Ishavasyam Niram Sarvam Yatkincha Jagatyam Jagat Tena Tyakena Bhunjitha Makrutha Khasya Svinhanam. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Haryom Shanti 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 Hari Om. But we all join together now, devotees, as we offer and chant the most powerful Gayatri Mantra. Om Adakshe Varane Devi Akshari Brahmadini Gayatri Jagat Madhan Vishwayoni Mostute. Om Bhore Bhuvaswam Tat Savitur Bharenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhore Bhuvaswam Tat Savitur Bharenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Om Bhore Bhuvaswam Tat Savitur Bharenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yo Nah Prachodayat. Haryom Shanti Shanti Shanti. Haryom Prem se bol Gayatri Mata ki Jai. As we continue on with our prayers for today, devotees, I ask that we all join together As we offer prayers to that destroyer of all obstacles in our life and in this universe, as we offer prayers to Lord Ganesh. Om Shri Ganganapati Namaha. Om Jananam Bhutanganadi Sevitam Kapita Jambu Palachara Bhaksham Om Asutav Shoka Vinashakarakam Namami Viganeshwara Pada Pankajam Om Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakoti Samaprabha Nirviganam Kurme Deva Sarvakarishu Sarvada Om Raksha Raksha Ganadhaksha Raksha Trailokya Rakshakar Bhaktanam Bhayam Kartha Trata Bhava Bhavaravad Om Shriman Mahaganati Pate Namah Prem Se Ganesh Bhagwan Ki Jai. As we continue with our prayers today, devotees, I ask that we all join together now as we offer prayers to that universal mother and that destroyer of all evils in our life. As we offer prayers to Adi Shakti Durga Mata. Om Mahadurgai Namah. Om Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhandra Kali Kapalini Durga Kshama Shiva Dhatri Swaha Swatha Namostute Jetvam Devi Chamunde Jai Potarte Nihardini Jai Sarvagate Devi Kalaratri Namostute Adevi Sarvabhuteshu Vishnu Maiti Shamhita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Buddhi Rupena Samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Lakshmi Rupena Samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shakti Rupena Samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shraddha Rupena Samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Shanti Rupena Samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Pushti Rupena Samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Daya Rupena Samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namaya Devi Sarvabhuteshu Matri Rupena Samstita Namastasye 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 Namo Namah Dehi Sabhagyam Arogyam Dehi Me Paramam Sukham Rupam Nehi Jayam Nehi Yasho Dehi Dvasho Jahi Om Prem Se Shakti Durga Mata Ki Jai. At this time, devotees, I ask that we all join together now as we offer prayers to the most influential beings in our life. As we offer prayers to the Navgraha Devata. Om Navgraha Devataye Namaha. Dharam Hamahari Vipurahari Bhanu Shashi Bhume Sutom Bodhascha Guruscha Shukra Shanirahu Keto Sarvengraha Shanti Karabhavantu Sarvengraha Shanti Karabhavantu. We join together now as we offer prayers to that being that sustains all living creatures on this earth. That God, in the form of the sun, we offer prayers to Suryanarayan. देवता की जय। प्रेम से बोलो सूर्य नारायण भगवान की जय। Devotees, will you join together with me now as we offer prayers to that sustainer of all things dharmic in this universe, all things righteous, as we offer prayers to Lord Vishnu. Om Shri Vishnue Namaha. Om Shantakaram Bhujagashayanam Vadamanabham Surisham Vishwadharam Gaganesundrusham Meghavarnam Shubham Om Lakshmikatam Kamalanayanam Yogibhiradhanagamyam Vanne Vishnu Bhavabhayaharam Sarvalokekanatham Om Sashankachakram Sakiridhakundhalam Sapitavastram Sarasiruhikshanam Saharavakshastalashobhikostubhashriyam Namami Vishnu Shirasachakurnabhujam Namami Vishnu Shirasachakurnabhujam Om Prem se bolo Vishnu Bhagwan ki jai. And finally, devotees, may we all join together now as we offer prayers to that universal Father and that universal Guru, as we offer prayers to that destroyer of all evils in our life and in this universe, as we offer prayers. Santam Hridayardoine Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namam Bhavam Bhavani Sahitam Namami. Devotees, may we all join together as we chant Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Hari Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Devotees, we offer this next prayer for those suffering from various illnesses, diseases, injuries, and ailments. We ask that they have a fast, speedy, and full recovery. We also offer a prayer for those transitioning from this world to the next. May the passage be as smooth and tranquil. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushnivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanam Mrityurmuksyo Mamrutat. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushnivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanat Mrityurmuksyo Mamrutat. Om Trayambakam Ganapataye Namaha, Om Kartikeya Namaha, Om Nandishwaraya Namaha, Om Vasukiye Namaha, Om Shri Sambasada Shivaya Namaha. Prem se bolo Shiva Shankar Bhagwan ki jai. Devotees, before we continue on with our sermon for today, we will move over to have one bhajan.
जय 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 माता सरस्वती, जय शुभदायिनी वरदायिनी। जय 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 माता सरस्वती, जय शुभदायिनी वरदायिनी। हंसवाहिनी परमासन माता, हंसवाहिनी परमातन माता, वीणा पुस्तक ध्यायिनी, जय शुभदायिनी वरदायिनी। जय 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 माता सरस्वती, जय शुभदायिनी वरदायिनी। तू ही दुर्गा, तू ही काली, तू ही दुर्गा, तू ही काली, तू ही माता पार्वती। सकल जगत की पालन करनी, सकल जगत की पालन करनी, विद्या बुद्धि ध्यायिनी, जय शुभदायिनी वरदायिनी। जय 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 माता सरस्वती, जय शुभदायिनी वरदायिनी। ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश शीर्ष सब, ब्रह्मा विष्णु महेश शीर्ष सब, तेरी है गुणगान करे। हम सबका कल्याण करो माँ, हम सबका कल्याण करो माँ। विद्या बुद्धि ध्यायिनी, जय शुभदायिनी वरदायिनी। जय 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 माता सरस्वती, जय शुभदायिनी वरदायिनी। जय 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 माता सरस्वती, जय शुभदायिनी वरदायिनी।
Devotees, before we commence with our sermon for today, I ask that we all join together. And for those of us who have a guru, we take some time to offer a prayer to our guru. If not, I ask you take Lord Shiva in your mind and join together with me as the universal guru, as we join together in prayer. Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Deo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha, Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Prem se bolo Gurudeo ki jai. Devotees, last week we were working on chapter 9, discussing chapter 9 of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. And when we were discussing chapter 9, on verses 26, 27, and 28, we ended with Bhagwan Shri Krishna telling Arjuna specifically, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, 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 Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prachati tad aham bhakti upahritam asnami pradhatmana yat kurusi yad asnasi yat shruhosi dhanasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kuru swarmadharapanam subha subha palihra evam moksya se karama bandhane samnyasa yoga yuktatma vimuktumam upasyasi Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. As we ended last week, devotees, Bhagwan Shri Krishna is telling Arjuna, if any pure-hearted bhakta offers me a leaf, that is patram, a flower, pushpam, fruit, phalam, or water, toyam, with love and devotion, I will surely accept that gift. O Kaunteya, whatever activities you perform, whatever you eat, whatever you sacrifice and give in charity, and whatever austerities you perform, offer them all to me. In this way you will be freed from the bondage of the auspicious and inauspicious results of karma, being thus blessed with the yoga of renunciation by offering me all the results of your action. You will become distinguished even among liberated souls, and you will attain me. We said this very specifically last week. I said this very specifically last week. It's not up to us to tell somebody whether or not we feel they're worshiping correctly. A person who is truly devoted and offers everything they have with love and devotion is one who will attain Bhagwan. The person who casts judgment, even though they think they're the religious, the spiritual, the devoted, the person who casts judgment, guess what's going to happen to them? Anybody want to take a guess? It's sinful. It is sinful. I also want you to understand, and I say this because the holiday seasons are coming up, and I saw a video on YouTube the other day of kids getting prank gifts from their parents, things like bananas and avocados and socks, and not what they want, and the kid throws a tantrum. They're so mad about these things. There's one kid actually, he was given an avocado. It's a very cute video. He unwraps and he goes, "An avocado! Thanks!" And he puts it down. Now maybe that's not what he wanted, but he didn't show disdain by accepting a very beautiful and wonderful gift. It's a healthy fat. I would love an avocado as well. So whatever you perform and however you perform it, do it for me. Focus on me while you're performing your actions. When we perform a puja, we sit down, we wash our hands, we bless our bodies, and then we do this thing, and sometimes you see a pundit do it where you have somebody take their hands and they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, rub their hands together, go around, snap their fingers. And that's because we need to remove all of those distractions. That snap is what forces those distractions to be removed, because we want to focus on what we're doing in order to make sure that we attain Bhagwan. If you do this, if you offer things with love and devotion, if you remember me while you're offering them, whatever you do, if you perform it to me, you will be freed from the bondage of this material world, and you will become distinguished even among liberated souls, and you will attain me. Now, understand that the goal is not to be distinguished among liberated souls. You don't want to be too prideful. The goal at the end of the day is to achieve Bhagwan, is to achieve that salvation, is to merge into that unmanifest world into which misery doesn't exist, into which happiness, glory, success is always plentiful, bountiful, and infinite. Last week, devotees, specifically, we ended on verse 29, on chapter 9 of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, in which Bhagwan Shri Krishna tells Arjuna, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Samoham Sarvam Bhutesu Name Dvisostina Priya Ye Bhajante Tomam Bhaktya Maite Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
He tells Arjuna, Bhagwan Shri Krishna says, I am equally disposed to all living beings, and am neither inimical or partial to anyone. But as those who serve me with bhakti are attached to me, so too am I bound for affection for them. I think this is a very important verse for us to all understand. I am equally disposed to all living beings, and am neither inimical or partial to anyone. When it comes to how we treat people in this world, are we supposed to treat the high class and the rich and the uppermost status? Are we supposed to treat them with the greatest wealth and respect, but those who don't have enough, treat them with misery, hate, and spite? Absolutely not. So, in this sense, in verse 29, I want you to understand that even though Bhagwan Shri Krishna is saying this, it's a learning point for all of us. We should all be equally disposed to all living beings. We should all be inimical, and we should not be partial to anyone. Those who serve me with bhakti are attached to me, so too am I bound by affection for them. If you show affection to somebody, what will happen to that? What will happen? What will you get in return? Affection. You'll get affection in return. If you pet a dog very lovingly and so happily, that dog's gonna love you back. Lick your hands, lick your face, sit, wag his tail, her tail. But what happens if you start to get too hyper around the pups? Too hyper around the dogs. You start to run around. You start screaming. What do the dogs do? They get hyper. They run around. They start barking. They get really loud. When you're trying to sleep early in the morning, they bark and they wake you up. Whatever energy you put back to somebody, that is the same energy you're going to get in return. So if somebody does something wrong and you yell at them, do you think that that person is necessarily going to submit and be like, yeah, fine, I'll do whatever you say? It may happen. You may be met with retaliation. Anger does not cure a solution. Yelling does not alleviate a problem. Hate, greed, anger, jealousy, and none of those things will lead us towards a successful path in life. Love, devotion, caring, the spirit of giving. Isn't that what this holiday season is about? That spirit of giving. Even though you may not be looking for it, if you put it out into the universe, you'll be getting it back. We call it karma. You can also call it, I don't know, your metaphysical boomerang. Whatever you put out in the universe, you'll get back. Bhagwan Shri Krishna goes on to tell Arjuna further about those who are devoted to him. What are some things you need to know? Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Apichat Sudura Acharo Bhajante Mam Ananyabha Sadur Eva Samantavaya Samyak Vavasito Hisa Ksi
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
In verses 30 and 31, Bhagavan Shri Krishna tells Arjuna, even if a man of abominable character engages in my Ananya Bhajana, he is still to be considered a sadhu due to being rightly situated in bhakti. He quickly becomes virtuous and attains eternal peace. O Kaunteya, declare it boldly that my bhakta never perishes. So a person of abominable nature, abominable character, if he engages in my bhakti, in my bhajana, in my words, he will become rightly situated in bhakti and devotion. Now, is that easy is the question. I get this all the time. I read in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Panditji, that if you are a bad person and you pray to God at the end of your life, you're going to attain salvation. And my question to you is, even though it's read that way, even though it's interpreted that way, ask yourself, how easy is it? How easy is it to be truly devoted to Bhagavan? Even for those of us who have good natures, good characters, good hearts, good souls, how easy is it for us to sit here and constantly remain devoted to God? To remember God. To remember all the teachings in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. I can tell you right now it's not. Even for those of us who are good or claim to be good, there's still things we say, we do, how we act in life that go against what our scriptures say. And sometimes we're just too ignorant to see it. So yes, a person of abominable character can become a sadhu. They can achieve that eternal peace. The issue is here, it's just very hard. Even at the end of our lives, let's say your entire life, you abused people, you spit on people, you spread hatred and anger into the world. At the end of your life, or at the end of that person's life, do you think they're going to sit there and attain solace? Do you think they're going to have no regrets? No harm in their heart? No darkness in their soul? Do you think they can just give all of that up so easily and say, oh God, take me now? It's not easy. It's not easy. It's never going to be easy. In order to attain something so righteous, so virtuous, in order to attain eternal peace, what do you have to do on a day-by-day basis? What do you have to do on a daily basis? Focus and concentrate. If you want to get really good, what? Pure heart. I'm looking for one word in particular, though. I know I haven't really given my analogy. My analogy is, if you want to become the principal violinist in the Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, what do you have to do every day? You've got to practice. You have got to sit down and make sure that you are practicing what you preach, focusing on what you can do to get you to your ultimate goal. Every day, ask yourself, because we do this a lot. We do this a lot as human beings. We sit down and we think about all the bad things we've done that day. Ask yourself at the end of the day, what are the good things that I have done today? What are the positive things that I have done today? What are some things that I have done today that have made somebody else's life better? Serena and I will use this phrase every once in a while, which is with inhale, joy, exhale, gratitude. Inhale, joy, exhale, gratitude. So you take in all the good things in this world. You take it all in, and then what do you push back out as you're exhaling? Words of praise, words of glory, words of affirmation. So in order for you to remove your abominable characteristic, you have to practice being good. And when I say practice, you don't fake it. You know what my dad used to do when I was playing tabla? When we lived at our old house in Hidden Lake? We had the puja room, and it was a big desk. And next to the big desk was this one little slot next to the closet where I would sit down and practice. And then the altar would be right across from me. And I would be facing the altar, practicing. And my dad would come and sit down in the room, and he would not actually be doing anything on the computer. I know that for a fact. He would just be listening to me practice. Because yes, I will admit, I didn't fully practice a lot. I would sit there and I would just hit something on the drum, on the tabla, because I know the notes. I know the notes. Not everybody else knows the notes, right? So I could fake practice. But in order for me to get better and to be good at what I needed to do, I had to make sure that I was devoted to that practice, that I stayed situated in that practice, and that's what got me to be better. And even now today, despite the fact that I don't really play the tabla, I think in the past year I've played the tabla once. Even though I don't, I still have a firm understanding of how a tabla works, what a beat sounds like, how to stay on rhythm, how all of that characteristics, dynamics works, because I was devoted to my practice. We end with these last 3 verses, because this is the end of chapter 9. And the end of chapter 9, verses 32, 33, and 34, Bhagwan Shri Krishna tells Arjuna very specifically, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, 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 Mami Paradavyamashriya, Epi Subhava Vanaya, Streyo Vasyastata Suras, Epi Anti Param Gatim, Kim Punar Brahmana Punya, Bhakta Rajar Sayastata, Anityam Asukam Lokam, Imam Prapya Bhajaswamam, Manmana Bhava Madbhaktu, Madhyajimam Namaskuru, Mam Devasya Seyukvevam, Atmanam Atparayana, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Devotees, whenever you read a scriptural book and you read an interpretation from that book, I want you to be very cautious as to how that interpretation is rewritten for our knowledge and consumption. Because when you translate something from Sanskrit to Hindi and then Hindi to English or Sanskrit to English, that translation is not going to reflect necessarily what those words mean. It does not. And I know that for the fact that when I did a wedding, I made up a song. And that when I made up that song was called Prem, Moha, Sneha. Yeah, Prem, Moha, Sneha. What is Prem? What is Moha? What does Sneha mean? What do those 3 words mean? Love. Love is Prem. Moha means love. Sneha means love. Love, love, and love. And in that 3 words, even though they all have the same meaning in terms of the literal translation, they mean something differently. One is a love and affection you share towards God, Prem. Moha is a love and affection you share towards the one that you're going to share your life with. Sneha is a kind of love that you share amongst all living beings. The love I have for this world. Prem, Moha, Sneha. In this case, when you are translating this verse 32, understand that what it's truly trying to say, I don't want you to read in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita translation verses what it says literally word for word. What it's trying to say here in verse 32 is no matter what you do in life, who you are in life, no matter if you're a man, if you're a woman, no matter if you're Indian, black, white, Chinese, whatever race, nationality you are, no matter if you're a king, if you're a warrior, if you're a merchant, if you are the working class, no matter what your level in life, if you take shelter into me, you can attain the supreme destination. In this verse, a lot of people have translated to say that low-born people, such as merchants, women, and sudras, that is not true. That is not true. We do not classify people as low-born. Why is that? Where is Bhagwan? And what have we talked about this entire chapter? Bhagwan is here. Bhagwan is there. Bhagwan is everywhere. We reside within this Maya, this illusion. And this illusion is Bhagwan itself. Don't look at that literal translation. The true translation is it does not matter who you are, what your role is in this world, what class you are, what socioeconomic status you are. If you take shelter in me, you will attain me. What doubt then can there be that pious Brahmins and saintly kings become bhaktas? Therefore, having come to this temporary and miserable world, engage yourself in performing my bhajan. I heard this very wonderful story. I was listening to, my father-in-law sent it to me, and I think I talked about it here. I'm not sure if I did. I may have talked about it with my family. And it was from Sadhguru. And Sadhguru had said that there was a cow, and there was a bird, an old bird, in a yard. And the old bird was telling the cow, you know, I want to get to the tallest branch again. I'm so old, my wings are weak, I can't fly up there. And so the cow said, of course, if you eat my dung, a little bit of my dung every day, you'll be able to get to the top of that branch. So the bird, skeptical, said, I don't know about that. So the next day came, and the bird was looking up, longing to be on the top of that branch, and thought, you know what? Let me give it a shot. Let me give it a try. So the bird eats a little bit of the cow's dung. The next day, the bird's able to get up to the first branch of the tree. On the second day, the bird eats some more cow dung, is able to get up to the second branch of the tree. Third day, third branch, fourth day, fourth branch, so on and so forth, up until the bird is finally able to reach the top of the tree. Now, keep in mind, the bird's been eating cow dung every single day. So that bird went from probably a skinny feral bird to a nice plump little bird. Gets up to the top of the tree, is enjoying everything, and then across the field, a farmer sees a very plump fowl in the very top of his tree, pulls out his gun, shoots the fowl down. So what's the moral of the story here? The moral of the story is that bullcrap will get you to the highest position, but it won't keep you there for very long. And here, what can we say about somebody who is pious, and they call themselves a Brahmin, they call themselves a leader, they call themselves a saint? Just because you have a higher status in this world socioeconomically, just because you have more money, or maybe because you were born into what we deem and quote as a higher caste, does not make you better than the person sitting next to you. It never will. It never will. Understand that to become a good person. Let's say you want to become a good leader. A good leader helps move the pack. They don't drag the pack along. They don't whip the pack to get to where they need to go. A good person doesn't watch people as they suffer. A good person doesn't cast judgment. A good person is equally disposed to all living beings, as it says verse in 29, and is neither inimical or partial to anyone. We all have the same opportunities in this world. Some of us will struggle more than others, but when it comes to worshiping God, to attaining that supreme absolute, we all are on the same playing field. We're all fighting the same battle. We're all trying to attain the same goal. So why, I ask you, why on earth would we try to put each other down from doing so? Verse 34, the last verse, Bhagwan Shri Krishna tells Arjuna, always absorb your mind in me, become my bhakta, worship me, and offer obediences unto me. In this way, with mind and body fully surrendered in my service, you will certainly achieve me. Every day you practice. You give it everything you have. You want that A in your class? You do exactly what's prescribed by the teacher. You want to be able to become a good harmonium player? You practice as you need to. You want to go and be able to buy a home? You save up, you focus on your finances, you cut some expenses, and you do what you need to do to attain your goal. No matter what, at the end of the day, you focus, you practice, and if you do so, you'll attain what you need to. In this case, absolute salvation. That is what Bhagwan Shri Krishna says, and that is how he ends Chapter 9 of the Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Prem Swara Krishna Chanda Bhagwan Ki Jai. Devotees, before we end for today, we'll have one more bhajan, and then we'll move on to our final announcements and closing prayers. Okay. Do you want this? No? Maybe?
All right, your same key. यमुना जल में केसरी घोले
स्नान करावो श्यामला यमुना जल माँ केसरी घोले स्नान करावो श्यामला यमुना जल माँ केसरी घोले स्नान करावो श्यामला हल्के हाथे अंगो छोली लाड लड़ाओ श्यामला हल्के हाथे अंगो छोली लाल लड़ाओ श्यामला यमुना जल माँ केसरी घोली श्याम लड़ाओ श्यामला यमुना जल माँ केसरी घोली स्नान कराओ श्यामला पीतांबर प्यार माँ अंगोलू चियापो वस्त्रो पीलू पीतांबर प्यार माँ तेल सुगंधी नाकी आपो वान कलिया तुझ वाल माँ यमुना जल माँ केसरी घोली स्नान कराओ श्यामला कुमकुम की रो तिलक सजाओ प्रीतम तारा भाल माँ कुमकुम की रो तिलक सजाओ प्रीतम तारा भाल माँ अलबेलिया को माजो अंजो मारा वाल माँ यमुना जल माँ केसरी घोले स्नान कराओ श्यामला दूध कटोरी भरने आपो पियो ने मारा श्यामला दूध कटोरे भरने आपो पियो मारा श्यामला भक्त मंदिर निरखी शोभा राखो चरने श्यामला यमुना जल माँ केसरी घोले स्नान कराओ श्यामला हल्के हाथे अंगो छोली लाड लड़ाओ श्यामला यमुना जल माँ केसरी घोली स्नान कराओ श्यामला स्नान कराओ श्यामला स्नान कराओ श्यामला
Devotees, at this time, I ask that we all please clasp our hands, close our eyes. That we take some time and focus our minds on the form of Bhagwan that is most pleasing to us as we chant our closing prayers. Om Sarvesham Swasti Bhavatu Sarvesham Shanti Bhavatu Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu Om Sarve Sukhino Bhavantu Sarve Santu Niramaya Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Na Kaschit Dukha Bhavet Om Mantrahinam Kriyahinam Bhaktinam Janardanam Yetya Pujitam Maya Neva Paripurnam Karastu Me Papoham Papu Karma Papu Atma Papu Samhva Trahimam Pundanikacham Sarva Papu Haru Hari Om Tvameva Matascha Pita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Satoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityuma Mritam Gamaya Hari Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Om Guru Brahma Guru Vishnu Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Om Har Shanti Dhantariksha Om Shanti Prithvi Shanti Apa Shanti Aushadhe Shanti Vanaspati Shanti Vishwadeva Shanti Brahma Shanti Sarvevam Shanti 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 Sama Shanti Hari Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tatsat Prem se bolo Ganesh Bhagwan ki जय प्रेम से बोलो आदि शक्ति दुर्गा माता की जय प्रेम से बोलो विष्णु भगवान की जय प्रेम से बोलो शिव शंकर भगवान की जय प्रेम से बोलो शिव शक्ति मंदिर की जय प्रेम से बोलो सनातन धर्म की जय. I apologize, devotees. I got a little tongue-tied at the very end there. With this, we have come to the end of our regular Sunday morning satsang, and I'd like to thank each and every one of you for being here today. Before I hand the microphone over to our president for a few announcements, I do want to let everybody know that we would let you know ahead of time when we are going to not have service. So next Sunday, which is December 27th, we will not be having virtual Sunday morning satsang. This is our last service for the year of 2020, and I'm keeping my fingers crossed. I think we're all kind of keeping our fingers crossed and praying that 2021 rebounds, makes up for 2020, that we all have a better 2021. So until then, devotees, I want to thank each and every one of you for being here with us since we started this back in about April, May time frame, who have been supporting the virtual services, our virtual pujas, and everything that we continue to do here at the Shiv Shakti Mandir as a community together. For all of you who have subscribed, who are following the YouTube channel, and who are here to support everything that we're doing, thank you all so much. Again, this is our last service. We will commence back on the 3rd of January. Is that the first Sunday? The 3rd of January for our regular Sunday mornings that's sung. At this time, devotees, I want to say thank you. Have a wonderful week, and I'll now pass the microphone over to our president for a few more announcements.
Sita Ram devotees, and thank you all for joining us this morning. 2020 is coming to an end, and it's been a very, very tough year for so many. Despite the fact that we have survived 2020, today marked the 41st week that we have been holding virtual service for our mandir. And so first I would like to thank Pandit Avi and of course his wife Serena for dedicating so much of their time in preparing for these weekly service and bringing the words from our spiritual scripture to all of us so that we could improve in our daily living standard. So thank you, Pandit Avi, and thank you, Serena, our daughter-in-law, for the time you have devoted. I also want to thank our community member for banding together and sticking together, for those that came out and helped in the Mandir renovation for nearly 3 months, for checking on each other, for visiting and maintaining that social distance to check on the welfare of each other. We thank you very much. Thank you very much for being a community and banding together and staying together as a community. It is so important. And as we move into 2021, I will urge us all to continue to do what we have done in 2020 to maintain our safety, the safety of our individual self, the safety of our families, and the safety of our loved ones around us. So thank you all so much. I want to urge our community member to continue to pay special attention to the elders in our community. We are so thankful that Auntie Dande, Auntie Davis, Uncle Jagnarine, they're all doing well. And there are others, there are so many others. Uncle Balram and his wife, Uncle Sam and his wife, and Auntie Gloria, so many others. We ask that you continue to maintain your social distance, continue to stay safe, continue to stay in touch with community members. We care about your well-being. So thanks, everyone. Excuse me. As we move into 2021, our first service for 2021 will be on January the 3rd, same time as Pandit Avi just mentioned. This past week, we have had some celebration, and along with celebration, it's always been a tough time for several of our family members over this past year. Those that have lost a loved one, we want you to know that we think of you often. And those that have celebrated very happy occasion, we want you to know that we are there. May not be there physically, but we're there spiritually in your celebration, especially to Amanda and Mark for their union this year, and then all our young minds that graduated from university, those that are starting university, those that are starting new classes in high school, grade school, or those that are just about beginning to start, grandparents that are, maturing the young ones, the young minds that are coming up. So a lot of good things happened this year. So let us all be thankful for all the good things, all the positive things that happened in our life in 2020. So this past week, Ram and his wife Mala celebrated birthdays. So Ram and Mala, happy birthday to both of you. And in a couple of days, a very special young lady will be celebrating her birthday. So Anna, we want you to know that we'll be thinking of you as you are about to celebrate your birthday. So we want to wish you all a happy birthday. Some 38 years ago, a very special person in my life jumped what they call a masala brick and ran away with me to a faraway land called Alabama in the United States. It was 38 years ago, and yesterday she celebrated a very special milestone. So I wanted to wish my Wonder Woman, Nidra, happy birthday. And I also wanted to give a very special shout out to a family member of Nidra, who also is at the same age and celebrated her birthday in New Jersey. I know this young lady for many, many years. We were in high school together, and did not know at the time that she was related to Nidra until we got married, and we went to visit her father and mother. And when I walked into the house, I saw her and her family members, and then realized that they're they have first relation with each other. And so that special person is Ivo. Ivo, we want to give you a very, very special shout out and your special birthday. We think about you, and we love you very much. Also, a couple that celebrated a special anniversary. We want to give them a really great big shout out. Pandit Tej and his lovely wife, my sister-in-law, Rohini. Happy anniversary to both of you. We love you guys very much, and hope you had an enjoyable day on celebrating your anniversary. So with that said, our community member, our devotees, our friends, our close one, we want to wish each and every one of you Merry Christmas, and take some time, enjoy time with family. Continue to maintain your safety protocol, and we will talk to you again in 2021, January the 3rd. May God always bless all of you. Sita Ram.